Documentary films are difficult to define. Some insist that they are about what is real and verifiable, whereas others suggest that truth can never be accurately captured by film. The debate for what a documentary is extensive. However, documentary can be better understood through defining and categorizing the various techniques that form different types of documentaries, such as modes. My Dead Dad's Porno Tapes is a documentary directed by Charlie Tyrrell, the son of the owner of the tapes in question, who seeks closure over his father's early death through the performative mode of documentary. This video essay will discuss how the performative mode applies to this documentary, how the content of the film is reflected by this mode, as well as how the director's personal style influenced the application of the performative mode. First of all, it is important to discuss why My Dead Dad's Porno Tapes can be considered the performative mode of documentary. In a performative documentary, knowledge is embodied. That is to say that the film's meaning and information is specific to the filmmaker's experience, which is then relayed to the audience. In an article discussing the numerous perspectives on performative documentary, Waltz with Bashir, the article's author Bergen points out how the film displays the subjective perspective of Israeli soldiers and how critics from different geopolitical sides claim the film was too pro-Israel or too anti-Israel. From this evidence, it is clear that unlike other forms of documentary, such as expository mode, that seeks to provide clear information that is disembodied, performative documentaries present information in a way that is affective, it's subjective, and it changes from person to person. And it relates personally to the filmmaker. My Dead Dad's Porno Tapes is therefore arguably performative because it is a personal story of filmmaker Charlie Tyrrell, in his search for understanding the emotional distance that he had with his father. The audience's experiences are also affected by their own personal experience. Some may find that Tyrrell should have been more understanding of his father earlier, others that he was too justified and he should have been harder on his father. The audience's experience varies depending on their relationship with their father, and this is what cements this documentary as performative. It is the filmmaker bringing the audience into his own personal story, and it allows the audience to learn from it. Secondly, the content used in Tyrrell's documentary is indicative of the performative mode, because it is so emotionally charged and this suits the film's tone. In discussing Nichols' modes, authors Natush and Hawkins point out that in the performative mode, the filmmaker intentionally uses emotionally charged performances and acts to emotionally involve the audience in the subject, to make the audience feel on a visceral level, rather than on the conceptual. Visually, the film presents a collage of weathered personal items, including the porno tapes the film is named after. Notable items also include old home videotapes of the family when Tyrrell's father was alive. Interviews with immediate family members are presented with the old family photos that match the feeling created by the home videos. Tyrrell's chosen content for the film evokes a strong family memory that emotionally engages the audience. This is a clear use of the performative mode, to engage the audience on a visceral level, rather than conceptual. Phone dial beeps are used to censor swear words during modern-day interviews, even though the participants are adults. This suits the tone created by old family memorabilia of a simpler time. Tyrrell has chosen this content intentionally, and it makes the use of the performative techniques incredibly clear. Lastly, Tyrrell's style is influenced by his personal feelings regarding both his tendencies as a filmmaker as well as his feelings towards his father, and this influences how he has applied the performative mode. Nichols states that the performative mode often relies on the filmmaker's voice to organize the film. Tyrrell takes some liberty with this, as the literal voice of the film is provided by an external narrator. Yet, indeed, Tyrrell's physical voice or appearance make no appearance throughout the whole film, aside from a few glimpses of him as a child. However, his voice is still clearly expressed throughout the film. This is explained in an article by Tyrrell that he wrote for the NY Times about his documentary. He remarks that he's always been reluctant to appear in front of camera, which is reflected by his physical absence in the film. Therefore, it is evident that the personal style of the filmmaker has influenced how the mode is utilized. Tyrrell is not physically present throughout the documentary. However, his voice as a filmmaker is clearly expressed by how he has written it, and it is influenced by the content he has chosen to display. In summary, My Dead Dad's Porno Tapes is a documentary best fit into the performative mode because of the technique, content, and style that Tyrrell uses to craft it. The expressive and subjective method of presenting the knowledge Tyrrell gained of his father is a distinctive factor of the performative mode. Home videos, photos, and other memorabilia are specific uses of content that are chosen to suit the tone and the performative mode. Finally, the personally reserved style of Tyrrell that led him to use the content and performative techniques in the way that he did create a documentary that was a tribute to his father and the man that he never got to know.